So you've heard about setting intentions, but what exactly are they, how do they work, and how can you use them in your everyday life? Glad you asked, and glad you clicked on this video. Hi, my name is Alana, and I am a 22-year-old yoga teacher based in Tucson, Arizona, and I also studied psychology in university, and since I'm not using my degree for my job, I figured why not turn it into a YouTube series. So welcome to the first ever research reviews, where I am indeed reviewing the research. So for each video, I will have a different psychology topic that relates to yoga, and I will be deep diving into scientific research that explains why these things work. Now, this is not to discredit all of the ancient yogis who had all of this figured out thousands of years ago. I'm just here to tell you the science, okay? Don't come for me. And I also create free weekly yoga flows here on YouTube, so if you're interested, be sure to stick around and subscribe. So let's begin by defining what an intention actually is, because it's different from a goal. So a goal is something that is future focused. It's your end destination. But an intention is focused on the present moment and how you go about working towards that end goal. Make sense?
You're worried too much about where you're going.
You gotta focus less on the where and more on the going.
So a definition that I heard that really resonated with me was bringing awareness to a quality or virtue that you would like to cultivate. Yes, I have notes. And technically this could be any quality or virtue that you would like, but for the purpose of this video, I will continue referring back to the example of patience. So that's how it's defined, but how does it actually work on a neurological level? Like, how does telling yourself some quality throughout your day actually end up changing your behavior and your experiences? Well, y'all have heard of the placebo effect, right? Where you have two groups of people, you give one the medication for their symptoms, and you give the other group a sugar pill. And would you look at that? The people who get the sugar pill actually experience some symptom relief sometimes. And that's not because sugar is magical, but it's because your thoughts are. It's because the people believed that this pill would fix them, that they ended up getting fixed. And this doesn't just apply to medications. This is all of your thoughts, okay? So this is because of a term called neuroplasticity, which basically means your brain can change and adapt based on your environment and your experiences. And this is something that we didn't know existed in humans. I mean, we started testing it in animals in 1948, but like we didn't prove that this existed in humans until 1998, 23 years ago. So before then, we thought like people's brains just like developed in childhood and stopped. But now we know through repeated thought and practice in our experiences in life, we can actually change the neural pathways in our brain. Pretty cool. But Alana, what does this have to do with intention setting? Well, let's bring this back to our example of patience. So imagine you are the most impatient person in the world, and you start to become self-aware and picking up that your impatience is kind of problematic behavior, and you decide that you would like to change. That's the first step, becoming self-aware. And then you begin to set the intention every day throughout your day. I am patient. I am patient. I am patient. And now this doesn't happen overnight, don't get me wrong, but going back to neuroplasticity, through repeated thought and practice, you are able to strengthen different neural connections in your brain. So instead of continuing to be impatient at work and just not even trying, that is strengthening your impatience neural pathways. So by consciously deciding, okay, I am going to cultivate patience today, that begins to strengthen the patience neural pathways. And so then, once the patience neural pathways get stronger, it becomes easier to be patient. That doesn't mean that it's not hard work still. There's always a Karen, but it just becomes easier and more natural. And this is where things get interesting. Stick with me. Not only do thoughts change your brain, they also change your physical body. Now, this is based on research by Bruce Lipton. I will, of course, have it linked down below. But he did stem cell research, and stem cells are the basis of what your body is made up of. So he took one stem cell and let it replicate. So he had 30,000 identical cells. And then he separated them into two separate petri dishes. And he gave them each a different culture medium. Basically, culture medium is just like a fancy word for blood with different hormone compositions. So in one dish, he gave the stem cells all blood that was highly concentrated in cortisol, which is your stress hormone, which is associated with negative thinking. And you might notice that cortisol is kind of like the bad guy throughout all of these research reviews, but basically what he found happened was that this culture medium caused these stem cells to stop growing, okay? You need your stem cells to grow in order to continue producing healthy cells and keep a healthy body. However, in dish number 2, which remember, the stem cells that he began with in each dish were identical genetically, he gave the second dish a different culture medium with blood that was made up of growth hormones like oxytocin, vasopressin, and dopamine. And what he found here, the stem cells just blew up. They started replicating like crazy and growing, and that's what you want. So basically, if you think negative thoughts, you strengthen those negative neural pathways in your brain, causing your brain to release more cortisol because you're stressed because of your negative thoughts. And then the cortisol hinders the growth of new healthy cells, leading to disease. Now, this video is not about disease, but on the flip side, if you set positive intentions, you strengthen those positive neural pathways in your brain, making that your more natural state. And as an added bonus, you also are releasing those happy, good growth hormones to keep your body nice and healthy. So like, one intention a day keeps the doctor away. That should be the new saying. All right, that's cool and all, but how do I incorporate this into my daily life? Glad you asked. So I can't tell you how to live your life, but I'm just gonna say like how I live my life and hope it helps. So it would be silly of me to ask myself to constantly be thinking throughout the day, patience, 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 because then I could never focus on anything that I need to focus on during my day. So what I like to do is tie my intention practice in with my yoga and meditation practice, because in those practices, you're already so focused on your breath that it's really easy to set your focus just on an intention. And of course, as your mind begins to wander throughout this practice, instead of negative self-talking to yourself, saying, oh my God, why can't you do this? And strengthening your negative neural pathways, bring your awareness back to that intention, I am present, and strengthen those positive neural pathways to see positive change in your life over time. I hope this video was helpful for you. My phone is at 3%, so I need to go. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to show me with your thumbs and let me know down in the comments what research review would you like to see next? What do you have questions on? Give me a research topic. I low-key really miss school. Is that weird to say? Does anyone else relate to that? I don't know. But thank you all for watching today's video, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye guys! Also, if you're wondering why I filmed this entire video outside, it's because I felt like it, okay? A girl's gotta get out of her house, okay? Please don't die, I need a thumbnail. Please don't die, I need a thumbnail. So, I'm out of breath. As your mind begins to wander, can we not? I have 10% battery left. It's negative. You don't gotta say that. It's not a